racing prospect is a horse that has yet to race. From a Rex perspective, this refers to weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds being offered for sale at various horse auctions throughout the year. In U.S. horse racing, competitions range from claiming races to graded stakes. High-level racing prospects are those with the highest potential to excel in graded stakes races, which are the premier events. These races are categorized into Grade 1, Grade 2, and Grade 3, with Grade 1 being the highest level, featuring the most elite horses and substantial purses. When it comes to Rex, several key factors determine whether a racing prospect is considered high level. These include pedigree, conformation, temperament, pre-auction vetting, Nick rating, and the eye test. Let's start with pedigree. The stronger and more proven the pedigree, the higher the price a horse is likely to command. Proven bloodlines increases buyer confidence in a horse's ability to perform at the highest levels, making them more desirable and therefore more expensive to acquire. Gunrunner has established himself as a top-tier sire, producing 24 graded stakes winners from his first 4 crops. This yearling was sold for $200,000. Conformation refers to the horse's physical structure and alignment. Proper conformation is crucial for optimal movement, balance, and injury prevention. There are charts that gives you examples of good versus bad conformation. A horse with conformational faults doesn't mean it can't win high-level races, but may be passed over by elite buyers that typically look to purchase horses with near-perfect conformation. A horse's temperament can affect its trainability, focus, and performance under the pressures of racing. Desirable traits include ability to remain composed in various situations, willingness to learn and cooperate with handlers and trainers, capacity to handle the rigors of training and competition without undue stress. Some of this can be observed doing pre-auction viewing, others you will not know until you start training. Pre-auction vetting is a comprehensive veterinary assessment conducted before purchasing a horse at an auction. The primary goal is to evaluate the horse's current health, soundness, and suitability for purchase consideration. The consigners will have vet reports, but that only gives you a snapshot of the horse's health at the time the examination was done. In thoroughbred breeding, nicking refers to the practice of evaluating the compatibility between a sire line and a broodmare sire line based on historical success rates of producing stake winners. Nick ratings are typically expressed as letter grades, ranging from F to A, indicating the effectiveness of particular sire and broodmare sire combinations. Finally, there's the eye test. When you look at the horse, do you see an athlete? Does it appear strong, healthy, and well-conditioned? Is its coat sleek and shiny, reflecting good care and overall well-being? Does the horse have the presence and look of a potential winner? It's important to note that even if a horse checks all these boxes, there are no guarantees of high-level performance. Some horses may not meet all of these criteria and still develop into top-level racehorses. These are the ones that really make you feel good. Finding those hidden gems and watching them defy expectations is what makes investing in racing prospects so rewarding. Ultimately, after all the investigating and inspections are done, you have to trust your instincts. Investing in racing prospects closely mirrors the strategy of drafting players in professional sports. Horses sired by leading stallions or the first crops of successful racehorses by these sires can be considered first-round draft picks. These individuals often exhibit high potential, making them highly sought after at auctions. Your second-round picks would be the horses that don't meet all, but still most, of the ideal criteria for a high-level racing prospect. The fewer criteria they meet, the lower their demand at auction may be. However, investing in these prospects can still be rewarding, as some of them may defy expectations and go on to achieve remarkable success on the track. Let's compare 2 horses to evaluate what I consider a high-level prospect. One is sired by Nyquist and the other by Gunrunner. Both stallions are recognized as top-tier sires in the industry. First, let's take a look at the Nyquist filly. Her first dam, Falcones, had a fairly modest racing career. She made 14 starts, winning just once and failing to hit the board in any of her other races. Her highest lifetime speed figure was an 86, and she earned a total of $29,499. As a racehorse, she doesn't exactly impress on paper, offering limited credentials in terms of performance or earnings. Falcones doesn't have any black type herself, but as a broodmare, she's been productive. She has 7 foals of racing age, with all 7 to race. 5 have found the winner's circle. Notably, Curly Girl is a stakes winner, also sired by Nyquist, which likely played a role in the $350,000 sales price of the Nyquist filly. Now, let's take a closer look. The stakes winner from the first dam is Curly Girl, but all of her black type credentials come from restricted stakes races for New York breds. Restricted stakes races typically don't carry the same weight as open stakes races. Looking at her race record, she won 4 of her 18 starts, with 2 seconds and 3 thirds. With 9 in the money finishes out of 18 starts, on the surface, that's a solid resume, but let's dive deeper. All of Curly Girl's wins and placings came at Finger Lakes. Using a baseball analogy, Finger Lakes is more like a minor league ballpark. When she stepped up to race at Aqueduct, a major league track with tougher competition, the results weren't nearly as impressive. Her best speed figure at Aqueduct was a 72, and her lifetime high was an 86. Respectable numbers, but definitely not in the realm of elite stakes performers. At the time the catalog was produced, the dam had 2 other runners listed: Bostonian by Bernardini and Big Ego by Flatter. Bostonian was particularly noteworthy. He won first time out at 2, earning $40,320. Big Ego earned a placing at 3, collecting $13,884. The remaining runners out of the dam were not mentioned, suggesting limited or no notable updates. Last of all, the mating between the dam and Nyquist received AB rating on the nicking scale, which is considered good. While not elite, AB rating indicates a favorable genetic match with a solid chance of producing a quality runner. While the Nyquist filly's price tag and pedigree might suggest top-tier potential at first glance, her dam's produce record tells a different story. Yes, she's produced runners, and the Nyquist cross has already yielded a stakes winner, but when you dig into the quality of those performances, they were more modest than elite. She might end up being a decent racehorse, but I don't see a high-level racing prospect. Therefore, I would not have been willing to spend that kind of money on her. Now, let's take a look at the Gunrunner colt, starting with the first dam, Dream Passage. Racing at major league tracks, she boasts an impressive career. She is stakes placed and earned $461,801 from 28 starts. Out of those, she had 18 in the money finishes, including 8 wins, 7 seconds, and 4 third-place finishes. Her highest career speed figure was an outstanding 107, showcasing her ability to compete at the highest levels. This solid racing foundation adds strong value to the colt's pedigree. Dream Passage's produce record is thin. At the time the catalog was produced, she had only 1 other foal of racing age that had yet to race. Considering her strong race record, that's not necessarily a negative. Without a significant produce history that points to the likelihood of producing an elite runner, it's typical for the price to be a bit lower. The Gunrunner colt has an A Nick rating, which is a strong indicator of potential. This rating suggests that the mating between Gunrunner and Dream Passage is considered outstanding for producing a stakes caliber runner. Combined with the dam's impressive race record and Gunrunner's proven success as a sire, this A-rated cross significantly boosts the colt's profile as a high-level prospect. Assuming both prospects checked all the boxes, my pick would be the Gunrunner colt, hands down. You're getting a foal by one of the hottest sires in the game, out of a stakes-placed dam with a strong race record, high speed figures, and proven performance at major league tracks. Add in the outstanding Nick rating and the fact that he sold for slightly less than half the price of the Nyquist filly. From a Rick's perspective, the Gunrunner colt provides a better value as a high-level racing prospect with a more promising upside potential. As mentioned earlier, buying racehorses is a lot like drafting professional athletes. The 2-year-old sale even has its own version of the NFL Combine's 40-yard dash, known as the Undertax Show, where horses perform timed workouts ranging from an eighth to 3/4 of a mile. Like many former number 1 draft picks, not all top-level prospects live up to expectations regardless of how much was paid for them. Similarly, many late-round draft picks and low-cost racing prospects have gone on to achieve remarkable success. Like late-round draft picks, these horses are often found at the back end of the sale. In summary, when considering purchasing the horse in the sales ring, ask yourself which criteria for a top racing prospect you're willing to compromise on. Stick to a right horse, right price policy, decide how much over your target price you're prepared to go, and then stick to that limit. For Rex, having a substantial bankroll at the auction opens up numerous opportunities to build a diversified portfolio of top-tier racing prospects for its members to enjoy.
Elite horses, elite competition, elite opportunity. That's Rex. Join Rex, the elite racehorse ownership experience.